What's up, everyone? As you can see, we are on the Explore page and things are moving. That's because Midjourney released their first video model last week, and naturally, we got to do some updates about it. Just got finished redoing some of the stuff on the website for the image side last week, uploaded that, so now we have a whole new piece of it, which is the video side. So what I'm going to do here is just take you through the basic controls, what to do, how to use it, and then I'm going to start building some materials for going deeper into video that I will upload here as we go. But first, a few things. I'm just going to look at my notes here to make sure I say everything that I need to on the video side of things. As of right now, video is available to everyone. You don't have to be on a specific tier of plan. It's currently only image to video, so you can't just text prompt a video. You have to create an image first and then animate it from there. Each clip is going to be 5 seconds, so no matter what you're going to generate, it's going to be 5 seconds. You have the ability to extend that another 5 seconds. You can do that up to 4 more times, so you can have a 25-second clip. That's cool. The output currently is 480p, so a little bit on the lower res side. Do not worry, the quality is good. We can look at other upscalers to upscale the video after that. Topaz Astra is a great one for adding detail and sort of upscaling the video from that. Then there's a few other things. They introduced an auto prompt feature, so you don't have to write these long prompts to get exactly what you want. You can also prompt manually if you want to. But truly, like, a really good model. For all the video models that I've tested, this one is pretty much right up there. And one of the things that as you can see on this page as we scroll through, is it can take simple things like 2D animation and really run with it. I think that's where Midjourney wins here. There's also been some really incredible stuff that I've been able to generate, and I'm really hype about it. But, for their first shot at a model that seemed like it was a side project, very good. As you can see here, there's a lot of natural movement, a lot of natural facial movement, which is great. There's some things, that don't work in other video generators, specifically Midjourney images, that have a lot of style. And one thing Midjourney's been able to do here is, I'm calling it style permanence, is keep sort of some of these really aggressive styles and keep them consistent throughout the video. Typically, when you upload image to video in another video generator, this stuff just sort of fades. Like it just can't pick up all the detail that Midjourney can generate. But as you can see here, we're doing pretty good with what we're producing. So what's going to happen? I'm going to go over here. When you go into your create page, there's a few things you can do. Now, when you hover over this, right, you'll see there's your very subtle, very strong. That's for the images. Then there's animate, which you can just click and run through. But I'm going to show you a few different things here. Number one is if you click here, this is where going to be click on an image, all of your animate actions now are going to be below your image creator actions. So you have these animate actions. You have two options here. You have auto, which basically, like I said, is going to create a prompt for you, which is awesome. And then you have manual, which you can add your own prompt, right? It's very limited in terms of what you can do right now here, which I kind of like. It's a good way to start. I don't need a million controls for us to figure this out. So if you hit low motion, essentially it's just going to go animate. You're going to animate 4 videos, but it's going to be a lower motion, like not extreme. If you hit high motion, maybe this image might not work the best for it, but we'll do a couple examples here. Hit high motion, it should animate a little bit more action into the scene. So it's nice not to have to prompt, right? This is great because you can also do, low motion and then manual prompt. Maybe I'll just do like pulling out shot, and then I'll keep the prompt that we had in here for the image. And then we'll do the same thing with high motion. Pulling out shots, enter. So we'll go wait for these to finish here. But also, the one thing to note while we're waiting for some of these here is Midjourney's been incredible with some of this stuff. I mean, this is one of the first things that I noticed that I could do here is I got a golf swing. This is basically impossible on any other on video generator. I've tried it on all of them. Have an actual club swing and hit the ball in a fluid motion. Granted, it added a little weird hood here. This is the first time I've ever seen this. So this is super impressive, right? Like there's some things on here, I'll go through and show you that are super impressive, but let's see if these things animated, right? So here we have our low motion, right? So this is just going to be like low motion, pretty minimalist. We might get some nice sort of like fluctuation in the tentacles or the anemones, whatever the hell are growing from this thing's head. But if you click into it, you'll be able to see it. If you want to save this, there's two ways to do it. Up here is just a regular download. This is going to download Midjourney's just base video. If you want to download the raw video, this is going to be better for social and editing. So if you want to take this and then go edit it further, I would suggest this. It'll download it at 1080p. It won't be any higher resolution than it already is, but it'll be, without getting too technical, a lot easier to edit, a lot easier to upscale. It'll look better on social without getting over compressed. So you can use, this raw video here. So gives us our 4 basic low motion looks at things, right? So we saw here low motion, not crazy, nice fluctuation. I think this stuff is really great that it's super real, like it's underwater. You have the whatever this creature is breathing, and stuff is moving underwater. Now, if we go to high motion, you'll see we get a little bit more action, right? So here we might get some weird eye fluctuations, but the fish is moving more. As we see here, it'll probably be doing the same thing. The camera will move a little bit more in that sense. Probably same thing here, definitely, and then same thing here, right? So we have these 4 options, which is great to choose from because you can then go and play with them. Now, the manual stuff where we had the pulling out shot, right, meaning we're just like zooming out, essentially. So this is where Midjourney starts to get really great, right? It's like all of this piece of the body over here was not included in the image, so it has to essentially think it up, which is why, a lot of other image or video generators can't really handle that. They don't know what to do with Midjourney style. There's no training data on it. So having Midjourney be able to sort of create from what's already been created with its own tools. Again, this is great, like super fluid, especially in the physics here. Like, these are very simple examples. Guys, no one's gonna be like, this should win an Oscar. But seriously, and then we have, a little bit more high motion with the pull out here. So again, maybe it doesn't listen to me exactly, but this is great the way that it's working. I get to see the full facial view, and it doesn't really, it keeps everything sort of symmetrical. You can see the face sort of replicates. You even get the depth in the, in the anemone or whatever the hell is growing off of it. Same thing here. I'm assuming might not listen as much in terms of the pulling out, but we get a great shot of this in general, which is, I think, again, what we're all looking for. So again, if you want to, rerun this, you don't like it, you can hit rerun here. You can also use this as a start frame and basically recreate your prompt if you want to. Just say like, fast zoom out shot of this creature swimming in the depths of the ocean. Nothing crazy, right? And then we just do motion high, enter. Again, you can also extend just auto or manual. So I can just hit, high motion for extending this another 5 seconds. And we'll go from there, right? So that's basically how this stuff works. You can also do extend manual and keep adding different prompts. This is where I think Midjourney is really killing it. Like, this style would be really hard to animate on any other image generator. So if I do, high motion, low motion, so you guys can see it, just auto prompting, which is outstanding to begin with. Same thing here. We can look at something like this. Not exactly sure what it'll do with this. This is pretty interesting as to how this would look, but let's see what it does. Again, I don't even know what I would want to prompt for this. So maybe sometimes it's easier have an image of myself, walking here. Let's just do, let's do run a high motion on auto, and then we'll run a high motion on manual. Well, now let's take the prompt out. So let's do, backwards tracking shot as a man with a briefcase walks towards us confidently. Probably spelled confidently wrong. There we go. Confidently? Yeah, tough one for me, guys. Sorry. Motion high. Enter. All right, and then this is where it gets really interesting. There's some motion graphics here that you'll see. And while these are generating, I'll show you some other sort of examples as to what I'm talking about. Let's see here. So if you now go into filters, there's a media type over here. It'll say video. You can go back and look at all the videos that have been created. Like I said, Midjourney does a great job of animating just random styles. I think these are super incredible, right? Like, this is so simple or so complex where it's taking just this product grid and animating it almost into like motion design. which is, to me, no other generator is doing this, and it's keeping the style and it's keeping the texture. Very interesting here. Again, animated some of these mood boards like their motion graphics. This stuff can be great in any way, shape, or form. It's super eye catching, but there's a lot that goes on here, right? Like this is something that would not be easy with other image generators or video generators. I'm going to say that a million times. To take this image here and then keep it consistent across as it built out the depth and the structure of it. So there's really some interesting stuff that they've been able to do with this model, and really, super, take something super weird like this and then be able to animate it, right? Like that's not something most of the other ones can do. So again, we're seeing a lot of impressive things here. The movement on some of the videos is great. You can see the camera bounce as the dragon or monster here walks around. Really intense, really awesome. Some of the other stuff here that might be more interesting. Again, you have video of myself, a character using OREF. We'll get into that later in here. Just animating me talking. You'll see a lot of these videos. Something like fire. You can see the physics working very well on the head here. Just really impressive overall. These should all be done running now, so let's go back and take a look. But, here we just did motion high, and we can take this and turn it into something that's super, super catchy. Like, I don't know who else is doing this in the video space that can handle this image and then make it actually function like this. It's awesome, and I really love that this is possible. Like, this is a great video right here, and if I wanted to extend it, just hit auto high and it'll keep going. Low motion, again, you'll see the difference here. It can be a little less action in the rider, a little bit more just minimalist movement, something that you might want if you're not trying to go for something extreme. So just so you know the difference between those two, let's see what it did with this, just pure creativity. Again, this is motion high, great, except for the head turns a little bit too far. All very interesting in terms of what it can do. You can see the natural skin tone, the natural movement on the face is good. The blinking, I don't even have to prompt for that, which is awesome. Same thing here, I'm sure. Her looking away, and great. Really good. You guys are seeing this in real time as I am. And this is really, like I said, impressive because some of the motion low, probably going to be very simple. Still good. This would catch my eye on social media immediately, which I think a lot of this is going to be good for. Especially if you're in a performance marketing space and you need to generate some views, this stuff is going to be great, right? So you look at that, see if it animated me, just simply walking. My eyes look a little bit unnatural here. The pacing is a little bit off. This is an odd angle, but again, you get some natural movement, the head movement, the eye movement, which is what we're looking for to keep this stuff real. Good pacing here. Wish my eyes weren't so like plastic in this look, but again, still really impressive as to what it's able to do with just minimal direction given to it, right? And this is the one that's motion high. This is with my actual prompt in here, and it looks like, again, something very simple, very similar. It's a nice creative aesthetic here, and what I mean by creative aesthetic is this stuff that's coming in on the outside wasn't in the original frame. If you want some of this stuff and you're going to prompt it manually, you're going to have to go and like describe that as he walks through, a golden door with golden paned panels, right? And like that's how you're going to get something that looks like that. Midjourney might give it to you auto, but if you want to control it, you're going to have to prompt for it. We're going to go a lot further into this stuff. So again, this is just something to take a look at. This was the one that we extended, right? Like we took it and went to 10 seconds here. Started at 5. Now we're at 10. There's a lot of things you can do with extend. I think it's actually works really seamlessly from shot to shot. Go see if I can find one for you on the extend side. I think I got a few here. Some of them might not be perfect, but I'll show you basically, something. I think this one has 5 extends here, right? So we have that initial shot, and then it extends here. This is the second shot, right? The cars are racing. Then we're going to extend again where I told it to pull the camera out, which it did. And then it's going to extend again where I told it to ascend, right? These are simple prompts, not crazy. So you're going to be able to do a lot of things in here, it's only going to get better. I would say, just play around with it for now. Have fun. Hit the button a couple times. It's relatively cheap. It doesn't burn too many fast hours. If you want to make sure you're not burning all of your fast hours, switch on relax mode. It'll take a little bit longer. Typically these generated around 45 seconds to a minute to get all this stuff. You saw how quick it was here. So I would say just play around with it for now. Go back into the archives. If you have archives, just go back and play. I went and ran a bunch of stuff that I found to be, that I had wanted to wait to animate for a long time, like stuff like this, where to me this is the most impressive kind of stuff that it does. You look at this sort of original image, right, as to where it starts. You have all these really soft edges. You have these really soft faded earrings here in that orange, and like the way that all the sort of intricate markings play around, with this design. But it keeps it all. Like it keeps that soft focus. It keeps the soft focus on the earrings. All these dots and intricate sort of details stay. Even the grain on the hair that you go back and see here, like if we look up here on that sort of like ridged grain, that's something that would disappear in just about every other image generator. So video generator, whatever I'm calling it. So just like play around for right now. There's going to be a lot more to come with this. It's really impressive model. Some of the stuff, the motion is not something to scoff at either. Like a lot of these video models when they first come out aren't doing sort of 3D action like this, where we can have a turn and we can change the camera angle and be very fluid in that sense. So play around with it. Even some of the more minimalistic stuff can play well. I've been enjoying doing this just as much. These even more super vibrant, complex styles, they work, and Midjourney's great with them. So have fun. I know this is a little bit long, but there's a lot of things to cover here. But wanted to give you guys just some updates on what's going on. I also dropped a new cheat sheet down below here in this module, where it should cover a lot of the things, the user controls in the video side, and some other sort of templates and things to play with. So have fun. If you have any questions, drop them here. I'll see you in the next video.